Give me the spawn. Give me the spawn. Yes! Yes, brother. Oh, yes. We're going to have a great time today. Full secondary GK in World of Warships. Yes, sir. This ship used to be the absolute best you could possibly get for brawling secondary close range action. And I don't think anybody has a big problem with GK being in the game in its current state. In fact, we all see it as a little bit weak, I think. Maybe that's overstepping. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But why do we find GK to not be much of a problem? These new experimental ships, though, on the other hand, as well as things like Valparaiso, as well as the Libertad line, why are they such a massive problem in comparison? GK has a ton of armor, HP, secondaries that pen 32 millimeters of armor. I think it comes down to a few things. GK has a very real weakness of its superstructure. It's also quite large and slow, so it's pretty easy to hit and focus on. This ship also has a massive weakness of its concealment, so typically you're gonna see it coming. A lot of stuff these days, though, gets close to or has stealth secondaries, so you don't know when that Varese is gonna pop up and just absolutely murder you with those secondaries. Being sap secondaries, of course, going to do quite a bit of damage, especially into lower armored targets. But more importantly, with cruisers, you have instant accuracy. So whatever the accuracy you get there, it's instant. And that was one of those changes a while ago that we saw with manual secondaries. It takes about 45 seconds, 50 seconds for you to get your fully accurate secondaries once you've selected your target and they start firing, allowing ships like destroyers or light cruisers to really have a choice to go dark and really take no damage. I don't know what the solution is here, but I've been curious. I really wanted to see if GK could still perform, and it certainly can. We can do some absolutely great damage here. Finishing off that Okendo, getting some citadels even with the full secondary build here. Our secondaries absolutely munching through this Minnesota here. And now to brawl a Schlieffen even. It's a good time to be brawling in World of Warships when you get the right matchmaker. I think that's the key here. I ran into some very, very lucky matchmaker that allowed me to push in, and also teammates and enemies that pushed in as well, helping us out to get into these closer range engagements. So time to brawl a Schlieffen. A ship with torpedoes. We got to be very, very careful of that. Secondaries off both sides even. It's all non-player controlled though. And yet I had a blast playing GK here. Maybe it's because I know it's more of a challenge than these recently released ones. Perhaps that's it. But it's the same idea with these secondaries where I'm not personally in control of them. And yet I don't feel quite so bored or uninterested in this like I would with the Varese or the Hotaka for some reason. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of this. I really don't know why with the GK here, some of these older secondary ships. We could take a look at some of them. You guys remember secondary Yamato being the longest range secondaries in the game back in the day? I did try that. I was not a very good player back then. But maybe it's with these older ships, their power level on these secondaries, this automatic damage, is far less. The DPM is less, the accuracy is less. But also that it was so much more difficult, and still is so much more difficult, to get into secondary range. A lot of the challenge was finding the opportunity, getting the right positioning. And then, of course, the secondaries were that extra reward at the end of a very challenging experience, trying to get actually into a brawl successfully without dying right away. Maybe the concealment on these newer ones is too good. Their survivability much higher. Something like the Libertad does not have the weakness of a GK. While you still have a bit of a Citadel on Libertad, I think we can all agree it's about as hard to hit as a GK Citadel. And you don't have that giant superstructure weak point that we have to mention whenever we're playing this ship. Anyone can just shoot your superstructure and do an absolute ton of damage. Maybe it's that there's weaknesses to it. I suppose it feels a little bit more balanced. I personally am not really that afraid anytime there's a GK on the enemy team. Most of the time, I'm looking for him to push in and for me to collect my free damage, to be honest with you. Although you're going to see plenty of times in this video, as we get to some clips from really nice games, that enemy ships also had experiences where there wasn't a whole lot of counterplay against these secondaries once you're within their range. Something like the Minnesota, he really can't get away. That ship is incredibly slow. and we're just going to continue to secondary him. We probably should be dead here, though, considering Minnesota has been shooting HE at us the whole time. I was broadside to him multiple times. So we could say maybe a skill issue on that part. Definitely, if you're in the Minnesota, you should be using AP most of the time. At this point, though, we are probably going to go down since there is a Sevastopol on our broadside. Still an excellent brawl with the GK here already, and you gotta let me know. Why is it with these older secondary ones that they haven't seemed to be much of a problem? I'd love to hear your thoughts, as I'm still trying to figure out my opinion on secondaries and everything, as you can tell from all of these new experimental ships. And now playing through the GK here a little bit, nearly getting ourselves up to 200,000 damage in like 8 minutes of game time. Although a little bit shorter than that once we got into our brawl. Yet we actually lose this one, unfortunately. Nearly 600 secondary hits into this one and almost 100,000 damage just out of those secondaries. But I've probably kept you waiting long enough. Onwards to middle push 2 brothers. Oh, there's a Gudin though. Uh-oh. Oh, what's up, brother? How you doing? Mr. Druid player, how's it going, friend? My secondary's not gonna fire at this guy. Apparently not. He's so dead, bro. Were mistakes made? Mistakes were made. Yeah, Druid's got 0 torps. There is nothing he can do here. Hello! He'll get some damage into us. He'll definitely get some damage into us, but... we kill him. For sure. Oh my goodness, we encapped a turret! Oh, first blood even. Yes, sir. HE Oregon. We have seen it all. Yo. Oh no. Oh no. He wasted them. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. How broken? How busted is our friend the GK? Really? I didn't kill him. Damn, that's too bad. We're juking the drops. Oh, he whiffed. So did I. Oh, we're dead, but we got him! How broken is GK? Dude, these secondary cars, you just W key in and you get free damage. Maybe these hybrids or these new experimentals aren't actually that crazy. What about this one? An E, brother. Oh, yes. GKE in the house. A little less secondary damage than that one. All right. Oh, about in Minnesota's. Let's go. Oh, he whiffed? Oh, okay, I didn't need to heal then. Here, I am thinking I'd need to pre-heal that. Four hits out of 12 at 5 kilometers. That's strong. Very strong. Oh, he's a little thirsty for us, I think. Time to die, sir. Oh, I can't give you an honorable death. Unfortunate. The submarine gets you. I'm sorry, Mr. Minnesota. That's my fault. Yes, dude. We'll just sit at El Petros. GK power, baby. Ah, I didn't get it again. Oh well. No, the burst, man. These experimental ships, bro. I mean, 130 considering how many DDs there are. That's pretty good. So GK is definitely not busted in this game, but it can still give you a good time at close range, and it can give you a lot of damage purely automated over these secondaries. If you're wondering on the build, I was running the legendary upgrade, of course, full secondaries also outside of that. And then these were the commander skills here. GK doesn't have the best heal cooldown or extra HP or anything like that. Very standard healing. So having this 2-pointer skill is very, very useful. And then, of course, trying to keep our secondaries alive. Fire prevention, of course. Ship this large with such a big superstructure weakness. Yeah, you definitely want fire prevention. So that's the build I was running. Very focused on all-in YOLOs, and that's where I got my best damage. But I also had a couple where I died with essentially no damage done. GK is not busted in the game, but it still gives you a decent brawler. But why is it these new ones have caused such a stir? Libertad line, Valparaiso, as well as these new experimentals. I'm still not sure. I think somewhat it's a bit of the Ooga Booga caveman brain that loves the close range, a bunch of guns firing, secondaries going, main guns going, torpedoes. It's chaos, and I think that's maybe why I like the brawls more. Sniping is just so boring in this game to me, and because of that, I'm more okay with secondaries. But now that we're looking at some extremely powerful experimental ships, I've got to question it a little bit more. I really hope that Wargaming can get through with the manual secondary control, true manual secondary control, like we've seen the recent dev blog talk about, a battle cruiser line or a heavy cruiser line for the German tree. We'll see if that comes into play. Maybe we can get more ships with more manual secondaries. Maybe we can go back and look at some of these existing ships. Give players control. In fact, I would be less scared of player-controlled secondaries. Have you ever fought against a non-John the Ruthless Colbert player and you're in a destroyer, a gunboat, DD, anything like that, and outside, you know, around 12 kilometers, they're not going to hit you with those guns. It's just too difficult to lead. It's so hard to lead. But with secondaries, the computer controls it. So there's just always going to be a little bit of chip damage coming after you. So you got to respect it more than if it was player controlled. Maybe that would help too. I also think it would be a lot more engaging for everyone involved to know that it's an actual player that is behind the damage, not just the computer. There's an argument to be made for, well, the player positioned their ship well. Although in these games, to be honest with you, just good matchmaker and pushing W is what I did and got some decent results. So you'll have to let me know in the comments down below. We'll see. Maybe there's some old secondary ships I should take a look at too. Maybe you got some suggestions for that. Good old Yamato secondary build. I might have to try that. I was dumb enough to run that back in the day. You know, it had AP secondaries on the 155s. You could Citadel cruisers. It was kind of a menace in like 1 in 1,000 games. Anyways, that's probably enough for today. GK can still perform. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.